on the head, which I've always believed in, that it is us who create our reality, not what happens on the outside. And a lot of people will react rather than respond using their, using their intellect, or they're now saying, I'm conscious that these things are happening outside. There are people who are angry, or I could be in an office where the people around me are aggravated, or they're very worried about losing their jobs. So how do I keep myself still and basically, in a sense, I guess, clear from all that and protect myself? You've just described it. Can you go into it a bit more for the people out there on, Blog TV and Stick'em, who probably are wanting to ask but a bit shy? So you guys, don't be shy. Do ask. I'll ask on your behalf, okay? So Lisa, run us through that particular one where you can relax, let's say, the relationship you have with your colleagues, your boss, your peers, your husband, your wife.
Sure. So the first thing that I want to say, which is triggered by something you just said, is when I did my diploma of yoga, it was a 4-year course, and I remember sitting in my first module, and I remember my teacher saying, there's no such thing as a stressful environment, only a stressed internal environment. And I still remember this, that was 12 years ago, and I still remember him saying that because I was a bit of a stress head. And so it was quite a rude awakening for me. I was thinking, but I've been dealing with this, and I've been dealing with this, but this is happening, that's not got anything to do with me. And it was a very loving rude awakening that really opened me to, wow, you mean that I can actually change external circumstance simply by cultivating a different internal environment? And really, that's probably, ever since that day, that has been my practice to many degree, whether it be in relationship, in business, not just creating calm where there's tension, but also creating vibrant energy where there is none, or creating depth of feeling where everything's a bit flat. I mean, it's limitless what you can create, because everything that we need or desire is within us. And even within relationship, anything that you think is missing in a relationship, you can actually cultivate that from within, and you'll notice it will start to flower within your relationship. So it's almost like you plant the seeds within yourself, and the garden sort of grows beyond you. So you're asking about that particular situation with Devika. So her situation was, there was emotional distance between her and her husband. He was angry, and when we're angry, we tend to close. Very rarely do we say, I'm angry, and have a relaxed body and an open heart. Very, very rarely. We normally, when we're angry, our the blood runs to our face, and we get all red, and our eyes pop out of our head, and we hold our breath, tense our body, and that creates more and more tension in the other person before we even express that anger. Whereas if you are able to express anger through a relaxed body and open heart, it has a very different effect on the person in front of you. You can try this with your children even. When I have a son who's 11, and if he's out of line, I actually remember realizing this early on, but I didn't really put it together until recently. But if he's out of line, and I, with a relaxed body and an open heart, say, that was out of line, but really not clenching, but just open, he will literally look at me and go, yeah, you're right, got it. But if I'm all tense and I go, it kind of turns into a na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Do you see? It's a very different feeling. And his reaction is to close and to react back. So it's a very different response you get from the other person. Same within relationship. So Devika's practice was, first of all, to relax her own body, to let go of the fact that her husband was even angry with her, and literally just to relax her own body, calm her own mind, and cultivate her own openness of heart. And then when she was with him, the breath technique that she used was simply called the heart breath. And it's actually one of the breathing practices that's in that Breathe Baby Breathe program I was telling you about. So literally it was as simple as breathing from her heart to his. And you can imagine, see, if I say to you, you can imagine a green light, some people might go, oh, that's a bit woo-woo. You don't have to imagine any green light if you don't want to, but basically you just imagine that you're breathing in from his heart, breathing out from yours. Breathing in from his heart, breathing out from yours. And literally there just becomes this flow, and he doesn't even know it's happening. And that was literally all she did. And then all of a sudden she saw a change in his face. He was more relaxed because she was more relaxed. Because of course she wasn't afraid he was going to hurt her because she was angry. He was just cross, you know. He just said something that had offended him. So she didn't like that crossness, so she created tension in her body. But once she took responsibility to relax her own body, keep her own heart open, and just connect her heart with him, he couldn't help but melt, even without realizing he was melting. It's rather